Hello everyone, Algebra 2 3-4, solving quadratic equations by factoring. These are the topics, standard, and we're going to focus on factoring. Okay, let me introduce FOIL method. Maybe some of you already know. So if you have a factored form of quadratic function such as this, you can distribute this using FOIL. So front to front, you multiply x times x, x squared. FOIL, F-O-I-L. O is outside. Outside numbers multiply x times minus 2, minus 2x. Inside, inside number, you multiply these two, minus 6 times x, minus 6x. L is last number, you multiply these two, minus 6 times minus 2 is a positive 12. Then you combine like term, it becomes x squared minus 8x plus 12. So this equation is exactly same as this expression. This expression is same as this expression. That's a standard form, that's a factored form. So I want you to understand what factored form means. If you say 15 is equal to 5 times 3, this is 5 times 3. Product. We say 5 is a factor of 15, 3 is a factor of 15. Just like that. This is equal to this, but that is this minus this plus 12. That's a subtraction or the addition. This is parenthesis times a parenthesis. This is a parenthesis product of a parenthesis. So that's a factored form. Okay, so this form we call that as a factored form. That it will be standard form. So distributing factored form to get this standard form. So factored form has some advantage on it. So what is good factored form is for? Factored form is good for finding x-intercept, solutions, roots, all same word. How? You let that equal to 0 each other. X minus 6, x minus 2 equal to 0 each other. This concept is coming later, by the way. And x minus 6 equal to 0, x minus 2 equal to 0, because something times something equal to 0, one of them has to be 0. If you multiply two numbers, both of them are not 0, you cannot make the product to be 0. One of them has to be 0. So this could be 0, or this parenthesis could be 0. Solve for x, solve for x. So you get x equal to 6, x equal to 2. So you get zeros or roots, solutions, x-intercepts, all same word, is equal to 6 and 2. Given that, you can have factors like this. Okay. You will encounter a question like this. Write a quadratic equation in standard form with 1/2 and minus 5 as its roots. So to have x equal to minus 5, you need to have x plus 5 equal to 0 as a factor. So I don't know how many of you caught that. Roots are exactly the same word as zeros, solutions, x-intercept, all same word. So roots as of minus 5 means you should have a coding factor as x plus 5. So you might say, why plus 5? This is minus 5. Where does plus 5 come from? Well, x equal to minus 5. X equal to minus 5. That's what zeros means. So if you have a factor as x plus 5, factor equal to 0, solve for x minus 5 minus 5, you get x equal to minus 5. So that's the same as this. That's the reason. Okay? If you have a 1/2 as a zeros, you should have a factor of what? Okay? So that's the part I want you to be a little thoughtful. So if you say, well, it's going to be x minus 1/2, that is correct. Except I don't like it much because you have a fraction everywhere. You don't want fraction. So technically it is correct. Better way to deal with that will be x equal to 1/2. How can you get x equal to 1/2? X minus 1/2 is correct, but better way will be 2x minus 1. So you might say, how did you get that? Well, you can let that equal to 0. Multiply by 2, multiply by 2, multiply by 2 everywhere. I don't want fraction. So if you multiply by 2, multiply by 2, multiply by 2, you get that equal to 0, and that's how I get this. So 2x, 2 times this, 2 cancels out, you get minus 1. 0 times 2 is still 0. So this is good factor, but I prefer you writing 2x minus 1 here instead for 1 over x. So if you wonder, is that going to work? Yeah, of course. 2x minus 1, let that equal to 0. Solve for x. Plus 1 plus 1. So 2x equal to 1. Divide by 2, divide by 2. X equal to 1/2. We get x equal to 1/2. Okay? So we got x plus 5 from minus 5. We get 2x minus 1 from 1/2. So we have two factors. I just write them together horizontally. That it will be factored form. They want standard form. So what do? Distribute. We just learned. We call that as a FOIL. Multiply these two. 2x squared. Multiply these two. Minus x. Multiply inside. Plus 10x. Multiply less these two, which is minus 5. Combine like term here. Minus 1 plus 10 will be plus 9. That is your final answer. Okay. Well, you have to let that equal to 0. So that equal to 0. Equation always include equal sign. Something equal to something is what I mean by equation. So that equal to 0, that will be the perfect answer. Okay, I already talked about it. Let's say parenthesis times parenthesis equal to 0, for example. That means this parenthesis equal to 0 or that parenthesis equal to 0. That's what zero product property means. Okay, solve each equation. You need to do factoring. So first thing when you do factoring is, first thing you have to do in factoring is a GCF, greatest common factor. Take a look at it, take a look at it. Where's the GCF? 3, 3. 3 goes into 9, 3 goes into 3. So GCF is 3. What about variable? You have a y square, you have a y. So 3y will be common factor. So you want to factor out 3y from 9y squared. Some of my students don't understand what that means. 9y squared, factor out 3y means divide by 3y. So 9 divided by 3, you get 3 left over numerator. Y squared means y times y. Y is on the bottom. So cancel one y's out, you get 3y over 1. Over 1 doesn't do much. So you get 3y left over. 3y, factor 3y out. Some of my students make a mistake there. 3y, factor 3y out means divide by 3y. 3 cancels out, y cancels out. Don't make mistakes. Some of my students say 0. It's not 0. 3 over 3 is 1. Okay, so you get plus 1 equal to 0. So don't forget, first thing you have to check is a GCF. We took a GCF out and factoring is done. This times this equal to 0. So 3y equal to 0, 3y plus 1 equal to 0. Solve for y. Divide by 3, divide by 3, 0 over 3 is still 0. Minus 1, divide by 3, divide by 3, y equal to minus 1/3. We got two answers. Please pause the video, you try. So here, they do GCF first. You take a look at it, what goes in here, what goes in here. 5 can go into 5, 5 can go into minus 20, so 5, also A. So you gotta take a GCF out, which is 5A. Then you will have A minus 4 left. 5A equal to 0, you got A equal to 0. A minus 4 equal to 0, you get A equal to 4. So you got two answers, 0, 4. Solve each equations. Okay, the one we just did had two terms. That's called binomial. Two terms, 1 and 2 terms. This is a 1, 2, 3 terms. We call that a trinomial. Trinomial factoring, x squared minus 6x plus 9. First thing you have to do, line them up, descending order of a power of x. Square, first power, 0 power. No x means constant, 0 power of x. Then I'm going to introduce one factoring method. If you remember factoring from Algebra 1, stick to it. If you don't remember, then here's one method you can use for factoring of a quadratic function. First, coefficient of x squared. Coefficient means the number in front of x squared. There's nothing. That means 1 is hiding. That we call as a coefficient of x squared. You're thinking of factors of coefficient, leading coefficient. So I'm asking, what times 1 makes 1? There's only one combination. 1 times 1 makes 1. Leading coefficient, you don't need to explore the minus sign. Okay? So I say 1 times 1, just write down two factors vertically. When you multiply these two numbers, it should match this. 9, then you're thinking about the constant, factors of constant, which is 1 times 9, 2 doesn't work, 3 times 3, 4 doesn't work, 5 doesn't work, 6 doesn't work, 7, 8, 3, actually we explored everything. Okay, so that's the one. You do want to explore minus side for the constant, so which means minus 1 times minus 9 also makes 9. Minus 3 makes also 9. So we have 4 different choices. You gotta choose one, okay, and just try to make it work. So let me just show you. Let's say you chose 1 and 9. Write down 1 and 9. Multiply those two numbers, it should match this number. That's how we set up, right? So as long as you use this combination, they will always satisfy product to be 9. Then what? Multiply cross. 1 times 9 equal to 9. 1 times 1 equal to 1. Add them. 1 plus 9 makes 10. This number should match coefficient of x, the number inside. We are looking for minus 6. We have 10. It's not working. Again, 1 and 1 left hand side. Okay, 1 and 1. So 1 and 9, we tried, it didn't work. Okay, so you should try the other. So you might say, how do you know which one works? I don't know. I don't know. So I have to try until I find the correct one. So I will try minus 3 times minus 3. So write it down minus 3 and minus 3. Again, when you multiply these two numbers, you should match 9. Multiply cross. 1 times minus 3 makes minus 3. 1 times minus 3 makes minus 3. You are adding it. Minus 3 plus minus 3 is minus 6. Aha, that's the one I'm looking for. We found the combination. Then you should know how to write this as a factor. Okay, x squared here. So x times x makes x squared. So you gotta write x here, pro parenthesis on top floor, pro parenthesis on the bottom floor. So you are writing as a top floor, bottom floor. Some of you might say, well, didn't you say you multiply cross? Yes. But when you write the answer, you're writing top floor, bottom floor. So if you look at top floor, it's x minus 3. Bottom floor is x minus 3 equal to 0. Usually, we write that as x minus 3 square equal to 0 because we have the same factor twice. This is a refined way to just elegant way to write. Okay, we are solving for equation. Solving for equation means you have to get the value of x. So if you look at it, we got the zeros. Well, we got the factors, which is x minus 3. Let that equal to 0. We got x minus 3 again. X minus 3 equal to 0 twice. Okay? So you get x equal to 3. You get x equal to 3 twice. You don't have to write twice. Just write x equal to 3 once. That is the final answer. Okay? From here, you can make that elegant writing like this. Then you can solve x here. X minus 3 squared equal to 0. And as you saw, this times this, x minus 3 times x minus 3 equal to 0. What does that mean? X minus 3 equal to 0. Or if you want to solve directly, you have to get rid of square. So take a square root both sides. X minus 3 equal to square root of 0. Don't forget plus minus. Whenever you take a square root both sides, you're supposed to put plus minus. Square root of 0 is 0 though. So plus 0 minus 0 is all 0. Plus 3, x equal to 3. Okay, same answer. Okay, solve each equation. Well, in this case, y squared equal to 36. If the question is like that, just solve it directly. How do you get rid of square? Take a square root, take a square root. So y equal to square root of 36. Because square root of square, they cancel out each other. Okay, here's a catch. Do not make a mistake like this. This is not correct. Whenever you take a square root both sides, do not forget plus minus. Plus minus. Okay? Because if you think about it, what times what itself makes 36. 6 times 6. But also minus 6 times minus 6. Product makes a 36 as well. So don't forget plus minus. So square root of 36 is 6. And you got two answers. 6 and minus 6. And that's elegant way to fancy way of writing two answers at a time. I mean, together. Okay, I prefer this way better. Here's what they did. They subtracted 36, subtract 36 both sides. Then they did the factoring from here. Y squared minus 36. They can interpret that as y squared minus 6 squared. And they use the formula, which is a formula as well. A squared minus b squared equal to a plus b parenthesis, a minus b parenthesis. So when you look at that as y squared minus 6 squared, y becomes a, 6 becomes b. So you get applying this formula as this equal to 0. Then they say factor times a factor. Each factor is equal to 0. Solve for y. They got these two answers. You can do that. When your setting is like this, for me, this is easier. Just solve for y. Done.